now that the midterms are over, the countdown does start today, basically, for that next major contest, the 2020 presidential election. 726 days, by the way, but who's counting, right? The question now, who is getting serious about taking on President Trump? This morning, 2020 vision? Some Democrats who sailed to victory overnight sparked fresh speculation that they're already eyeing the battle ahead, setting their sights on President Trump, from former presidential candidate Bernie Sanders.
We have a president of the United States who is a pathological liar,
to New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand.
The president needs to be held accountable.
And progressive firebrand Elizabeth Warren.
Donald Trump still practices the dark art of ruling by fear.
And then there's former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg, who raised eyebrows after releasing this ad right before Election Day.
I've supported candidates from both sides, but at this moment, we must send a signal to Republicans in Washington that they have failed to lead.
Setting up a potential matchup between two New York City billionaires. But even some of the candidates who came up short aren't being counted out, instead getting buzz as future stars of the Democratic Party, including Beto O'Rourke, who put up a tough fight against incumbent Senator Ted Cruz in Texas.
We will see you out there down the road.
And Tallahassee Mayor Andrew Gillum, who went down in defeat in his battle for Florida governor, but keeping the fighting spirit.
I can guarantee you this, I'm not going anywhere.
The question now for Democrats, who could actually beat President Trump? Tuesday's mixed results raising questions about whether progressive Democrats could win in crucial swing states like Florida, or whether more mainstream Democrats like Joe Biden, still toying with a run of his own, might fare better. As for the president, administration officials tell NBC News he feels emboldened heading into 2020, despite failing to flip Senate seats in key Midwestern states that he carried in 2016. And those officials say he has no regrets about his hardline stance on immigration.
His message for 2020 are his accomplishments as president. That is the best message that he'll have.
All right, so Kristen, we saw Gillum there, we saw O'Rourke, you mentioned Bloomberg. Who else might be in 2020?
Well, Craig, look, buzz is growing around some Democratic names who weren't on the ballot. Senators Kamala Harris and Cory Booker, they're two standouts on the Senate Judiciary Committee. And, of course, former Vice President Joe Biden. Remember, he considered running back in 2016. He ultimately decided not to. Now, as for potential Republican challengers, seems like a steep climb, but there is some speculation that Ohio Governor John Kasich could be eyeing the possibility of taking on Mr. Trump. And then there's outgoing Republican Senator Jeff Flake. He's, of course, a frequent Trump critic who hasn't closed the door to the possibility in public comments. Now, no one has said that they definitively want to run, but it's worth noting that a lot of those names I just mentioned have visited early voting states like Iowa. Craig, guys, back to you.
All right, Kristen Welker at the White House.
Senator Flake of Arizona was on our air last night.
That's right.
Not only did he not close the door, he left it open a little bit. So we'll see if there's a primary challenge for the president in 2020. There'll be a lot of Democrats running, that's for sure.